Ryan, I've been so excited talking with Jason, and you haven't said a thing because it's been so long, Jason.
No, I mean, to be honest, typography is not one of my domain expertise. So a lot of this is like very new for me, and I actually find it like very interesting. It's just not an area where I've had as much time to focus. With that being said, if someone is a little bit more new to typography, especially responsive typography, what's a good place to get started? Of course, like it sounds like your newsletter seems like an easy win. Any other like Medium articles or books that you can point to? I know you have your book. We'll link
So
that below. But anything else that you
there's a
could
lot
recommend?
of good places to start. Um, the I will say I wrote my book with that use case in mind. So like the first third of the book is sort of introducing some concepts of typography and sort of working up into the responsiveness of it. So there's that.
Great.
It's still mostly relevant. So it came out in 2014. I feel pretty good about that. Um, the articles, the newsletter, sure. Um, but I'm like looking at my bookshelf up here. Eric Spiekerman's book, "Stop Stealing Sheep and
That's
Learn How
amazing.
to Use Type." That's a great book, and I don't know if it has. I have to check and see what the status of it is. I know he's working on a new edition,
Oh wow.
and that will be coming out at some point. I don't know when, but any of the editions of it are good. And also, Ellen Lupton's Thinking with Type is great. That's a really good. And there's a newer edition. Yeah,
Think,
yeah, that's
that
by
was
Ellen
thinking with
Lupton.
type.
Really, really good. There's a gosh, there's a lot. Um, Inside Paragraphs is a really cool book by Cyrus Highsmith. It's a small one, and it really just looks at what are the elements of making a well typeset paragraph and why. And so like that's usually can be summed up. There's sort of three aspects to it. There's the type size, there's the length of the line of text, how many characters is that, and then what is the spacing between those lines of text. And those things are really tied. You don't really want to change one of those things without the other. And a lot of that is directly relevant to the web because how we read, what we're used to, is directly related to how well we can take that stuff in, and it sort of comes back again to like what is a good reading experience. The longer the line of text, the more space you need between them because your eye needs to be able to follow back to the beginning of the next line. Left aligned text
Right.
for people who read from left to right is always going to be easier and less tiring to read than centered text because your eye goes back to the same place at the beginning of each line. And and then the smaller the screen, you can be a little bit closer together with the lines of text to maintain that sort of smooth flow of that. And because then if it's too spaced out, that also slows you down. So that's why I think all of these things like line height and font size and line length are all really important things to reduce that friction of the reading experience across these different screen sizes, and why I don't think there's one answer to what is the best typesetting for a paragraph on a small screen versus a large one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's brilliant. That's an awesome list. I'll try to pull out some of those links for everyone listening as well because I think that's an awesome you
There's
know getting started guide.
I have
There's some awesome
I will
recommendations in
send
there.
you a link to a post that I have on Medium that is my like go to, like here's stuff to learn about typography, and
Excellent.
it lists a bunch of books, and
Oh, that
it's
sounds
interesting. I wrote
perfect.
it a long time ago,
That's
and it
great.
still routinely gets like 100 views a week or so. I
That's
mean,
cool.
it's definitely people find it, and I'm happy about that. So
That's awesome.
that's a pretty good starting point.
Check.